As you all know, I made a video dismantling the claims made against Baskkit with the purpose of tarnishing his reputation and ruining his YouTube career. In response to that, Nightmare and Panda made a rage-filled, deranged video responding to my response video. This new video of theirs made them look even worse than before. I went on to make a response video to their response video to my video, and easily dismantled it. Both of the videos I made will be linked in the comment section and description, and I encourage you to watch them in full. In response to my last video, Panda and Nightmare decided to take down the video that I was reacting to in that video, and released a calmer video reacting to the video that I made in reaction to their deranged video that they had now taken down. Because that makes sense, right? This new video they had posted would ironically incriminate them even further. After I go through this video, there will be no doubt left in your mind that Panda and Nightmare were deceitful.
Alright. So, first thing me and I want to say is that, a couple months ago, we stopped.
The last video that was made in an attempt to tarnish Baskkit's reputation, which you were in, was made only 2 weeks ago on Toasty's channel. After my last response video, Toasty would also go on to take down the video.
Well, nothing was really happening until you made the video.
Did you actually think you were going to get away with everything you said? Did you think you were going to make videos and spread lies about Baskkit and have absolutely nothing come of it? No response. Without my response videos, your insanity would still be left unchecked to this day. People who are not educated on the situation would still be deceived by you. But I can promise you, they won't be anymore.
And I actually had stuff going on, like, family problem, but now I was actually having a nice time in life.
Yeah, like I care. After everything you've done, after everything you've said, I bet you had a really great time lying about Baskkit. Glad I ruined your fun.
And I will say all of this has came to, feel like all this is complete nonsense now.
That's right. Everything you've said has been complete nonsense, and I proved that with my response videos. Glad I woke you up to that fact.
So basically this video is to say that I don't want to be a part of this anymore, and I just want this to end.
I never planned on making more than one video on the situation. My video was simply a response to everything you had done. Then you decided to post an absolutely insane video responding to my one video. Of course I was going to respond and absolutely destroy it. I can promise you that for as long as you keep providing me with insane videos to respond to, I will respond, and I will destroy them, and I will make fun of them.
Like I thought it did months ago, and also, I'm just gonna have my blind reaction on the video how I made. And Amber will be joining me with that. And Amber wants the same thing. Yeah. For all this to end. Because I was actually having fun in my life.
Once again, don't care.
And I thought all this was over.
And you thought wrong. Just as you do about a lot of things.
It's just I just want this to end because I have better things to do in my life than worry about this thing all over again. Also, I'm not trying to cause any more hate. How I know you're probably going to make a video on this video. But at least just let it end like you've been wanting.
Panda is clearly on the defensive here, and is virtually begging me to stop making more videos. If you don't say any more stupid things, I won't have to make any more videos making fun of it.
Like I said, I'm not trying to put any hate, but...
What a change of tone from the last video.
All I wanted to say is, you are power hungry for the truth to not be told.
And he kept on asking me if I still wanted to be in content. Of course I didn't answer that.
What do you mean by, of course you didn't answer that? That could have solved a lot of problems if you had simply said, yes, I still want to be in content. This is exactly what you should have answered. This also clearly proves that Baskkit's message telling Panda he could take a break from content wasn't just random and out of the blue. Baskkit had been worried about this for a while and had been asking Panda repeatedly if he wanted to be in content. Obviously, Panda's lack of answer gave him the answer he needed. When you eventually responded with, yes, of course I'm still going to be in videos, idiot, you can clearly see what Baskkit was talking about. There were a lot of arguments and tension going on between the two. Baskkit could very clearly see that Panda was getting agitated and then told him he could take a break.
He's told me that he didn't really want Nightmare and Zero in the content, and that was the part I was talking about.
No, he did not say that. Basket basically said that Nightmare was becoming annoying at times and hard to work with, which was referring to the incident when Nightmare lost his mind on stream during an event. He did not say he didn't want them in content anymore.
And yes, he did call me at the wrongest times, every 5 seconds.
I did say that he would call me at the wrongest times, but that was obviously a joke.
Here, Panda literally admits that Basket would actually call him at the worst times, and that he was lying about calling it a joke. Lie at that.
Well, you guys never really asked me if I was agitated, and I never really thought about that when we were in the call. So
I understand though, due to that you don't really get much out of this, so I bother you a lot with the content stuff. So I probably understand why you would get annoyed doing it. So I meant more by if you want to take a break from doing content stuff with me, so you don't keep being mad over and over again. That was my point.
Yes, Basket and you did discuss it.
Basket has a really deep, dark secret.
Yes, you did. You wanted Basket to tell the so-called truth. At this point, the truth that they wanted to come out was related to the misunderstanding of Basket's message, which had been resolved and explained in the call. At this point, there was literally nothing else to add. This was all public knowledge, and yet there was still some mysterious truth.
The only person looking for the truth after the call, and really kind of before it, was Sketcher. Because we may have thought there was a truth.
Here, Panda admits he actually did think there was a, quote, deep, dark secret. And of course we all know that's where Sketcher got his rhetoric from.
I didn't really care about the truth. I just cared about exposing.
What do you mean by you didn't care about the truth? You just cared about exposing. Exposing what exactly, if it's not the truth or the secret? Ironically, that sentence is actually true. Panda didn't care about the truth. He just cared about trying to ruin Basket's reputation because of a personal vendetta.
I didn't really care about the truth. I just cared about exposing. Well, most of the people that contacted us, they contacted us before we had the conversation. Jet, I'm not certain, but I know Toasty. I know for a fact Sketcher. He contacted us before that.
What Panda just said is the final nail in the coffin for their previous narrative. Like I had said before, all these people were already in Panda and Nightmare's immediate vicinity. These were Basket's friends or acquaintances that in many cases you met through his server. When or how you came in contact with these people nonetheless does not negate your responsibility to tell them that at this point the problem had been resolved. Basket saw that they were more trouble than they were worth and banned Nightmare, Panda, and Sketcher.
Or I thought Sketcher stopped after a couple months before the talk we had. I didn't know Sketcher would keep on going. Yeah.
This is the part where Panda is severely confused about the timeline of events. The problems that Panda is referring to, which Sketcher caused before the call, were completely unrelated to the situation of Panda misunderstanding Basket's message. The problems that Sketcher was causing were related to a conflict with me. Sketcher was basically mad that I was able to post images in the general chat of Basket's server. He actually ended up leaving the server for a short period of time because of this. Yeah, that's literally all that was. Sketcher aggressively interrogated Basket after the call.
At that time, before we contacted you, after the call, I wasn't in contact with Sketcher, so I didn't ever told him about the call we had.
Here, Panda claims that they did not have contact with Sketcher after the call.
Also, to see if it was actually true or not that we got banned, then he ended up becoming banned also.
Here, Nightmare is talking about the time when Sketcher interrogated Basket after the call. Sketcher, along with Nightmare and Panda, were only banned in the time period after the call.
Sketcher interrogated Basket way before the call.
No, he did not. Sketcher was causing completely different problems completely unrelated to this particular incident. What you are referring to is the time Sketcher complained to Basket in his DMs about me sending images in the general chat.
That guy that was 5 years friends with Basket apparently told us, or I guess texted Nightmare first saying everything.
A little update about the situation of Hex betraying Basket. Hex, after seeing my last video, where I demonstrably proved that he did betray Basket, left a comment saying that he did not betray him. Hex would later go into Basket's DMs and say that everything he said was, and I quote, just a theory. This is all just Hex trying to back off from what he said, because he was very obviously lying. He didn't expect the very people he told not to expose his messages to expose his messages. And he very clearly didn't put a lot of thought into his excuse. Conveniently after they were banned, accounts with no profile picture showed up asking where they were. It is not known whether they were Nightmare and Panda's alts directly, or one of the people associated with them. Nonetheless, they are responsible.
I think they were either Cloud or Nightmares, but I'm not really certain about the stream.
Yeah,
because I feel like
made
Nightmare would
some
have the
alts.
information.
Streams. Yeah. I know that Nightmare only went in there once, trying to talk about it.
Before, Panda claimed that he knew for a matter of fact that Nightmare only went on stream once to try and talk about the situation, and that Panda nor Nightmare made the alt and spammed a further 3 streams. They decided to try and place the blame entirely on Cloud, but then realized how unrealistic it was and admitted that Nightmare did make the alts. Now Panda says he's not really sure what happened. It's important to understand why this part of the story is even relevant at this point. Hex betraying Basket and the alts were all things that took place after they were banned for causing the initial problem, and therefore we were officially enemies. The only reason these things are even relevant is because they deny that they actually did them. It wouldn't have mattered if they had just straight up admitted that they did make the alts, because at that point we were officially enemies. Yet they decided to lie about it, presumably because they thought it would make them look better if they hadn't done these things. Instead, it's the thing that ruins their credibility entirely. If Panda and Nightmare hadn't lied about what they did after they were banned and we were officially enemies, I wouldn't even be mentioning it right now.
I was practically the main show of his channel.
No, he was not the main show of his channel. Hex did not even appear in the majority of his content.
And I said, so were we.
No, you were not. As I explained in my previous video, Panda and Nightmare only appeared in long-form videos and streams. 99% of Basket's content were YouTube Shorts, who by now have garnered him 3 million views. Streams and long-form videos were virtually completely unsuccessful. Panda and Nightmare are completely delusional about their actual importance to his channel. They gained Basket basically nothing, which is why absolutely nobody knows who they are.
It been a while. He made 4 to 5 vids with me, and eventually I had quitted social media for 4 months.
4 or 5 videos certainly does not count as the quote main show of his channel. Like I said before, Hex was certainly not in even the majority of his content.
And when I came back, he was pretty mad and upset, saying we were still friends. I told him that I had parents' issues and trouble at school, but he haven't talked to me after that.
They actually did talk after Hex came back, on multiple occasions.
I asked him if he wanted to play some games with me, but he simply ignored.
They actually did play games on multiple occasions after Hex returned.
And I said, yeah, he blocked us.
After we tried to resolve the misunderstanding, invited you back to content, and then you showed that you were only interested in continuing the problem.
That he has called me, but nothing about me coming back to vids or live streams, but just simply playing games with me, and that's it.
Here, Hex contradicts what he said earlier about wanting to play games with Basket and him ignoring him. It admits that they actually did play games on multiple occasions. Hex seems to be perplexed that after 4 months of complete disappearance, Basket isn't eager to invite him back to make content on a channel he no longer posts on.
The only reason he doesn't block me is because we've been friends for 6 years.
What exactly does Hex mean by, the only reason he doesn't block me is because we've been friends for 6 years? Yeah, that's right. You guys are friends, so why on earth would he block you? If you can't already see by now, Basket was very certainly not just using Hex. I want to take some time to explain why Hex is lying about all of this. A few years ago...
So who's lying? Haydhda or Hex?
Very obviously, Hex was lying. Completely unrelated to his YouTube channel. There were many periods of time where Hex was only friends with me and not Basket. I would then help them resolve the problem and they would become friends again. This happened 2 or 3 times. and mainly came down to problems with communication. Even though they remained friends up until very recently because of Nightmare and Panda, I could always sense that Hex had some resentment left over. This is very likely why Hex decided to lie about so many things.
Right. Hey, don't tell me you share this with Basket.
What Hex is saying here is that he doesn't want Nightmare to tell Basket that Hex had basically come in and just lied about him. Hex intended to remain in contact and friendship with Basket after sending these messages.
Basket, if you remove him, then we'll know you've been using people.
That doesn't make any sense at all. If Basket decides to remove Hex after finding out he lied about him behind his back, that wouldn't be using people.
In the future. That's after.
Will ever consider using?
No.
After our call.
I think I was right on that one.
Yes, of course I'm right.
I don't know if Cloud was doing stuff, if Sketcher was doing stuff, if that could have been the reason why we were banned, or something. But I was not causing any drama.
Everything that was happening ultimately because of you. Everything Cloud was doing, everything Sketcher was doing, and everything that Nightmare was doing. Nightmare was the very first person who you involved in this. All of this comes down to you, the people you involved, and your refusal to correct them. And you try to pass responsibility off onto them, the people you involved and you brainwashed, when in fact, you are the most guilty.
And please correct me, Nightmare, if you remember a time where I was.
No, not really. It was just me.
And here, Nightmare admits that despite what they've said before, he was in fact causing drama after the call. That after our call on the 13th, they waited nearly 2 weeks to even try and send a message.
Well, we were nervous, or at least I was nervous, because, like, after being enemies with someone for, like, a long time, but then after, like, one call, you just become good friends again. That might's gonna take some time.
This is the part where Panda really starts to lose touch with reality. There are two things to say about what he just said. First, Nightmare and Panda said that the reason they didn't come back for 2 weeks was because they were skeptical about Basket's intentions and what he might do. Now Panda is saying that the reason they didn't come back for 2 weeks is because they were nervous. And the reason that he gives for why he was nervous shows that Panda has no idea what he's talking about. Before the call, Panda and Nightmare were not our enemies. We were friends who had a recent falling out because Panda at this time believed he had been permanently removed from content by Basket. From our end, we certainly weren't enemies with Panda and Nightmare at this point. Certainly not explicitly. Though it was certainly evident that Panda was building up animosity during this time of minimal communication, and was slowly in his head growing cynical and crafting the narrative he would later use to justify his attacks on Basket. As I've explained before, by the time of the call, Panda and Nightmare were almost completely cynical, but they were cordial, because we were not explicitly enemies in any sense of the word at this point. We became enemies explicitly after they were banned later for reasons I already explained. Panda just really isn't sure what's been going on at this point in the timeline, or any other point for that matter.
Since me and Bastards are enemies, it's kind of hard to become friends with your enemies, so...
No, Basket was not your enemy at this point. He is your enemy now. You might be able to say we weren't necessarily friends before the call, but certainly nothing resembling enemies. The problem at this point was nothing but a misunderstanding that could be resolved.
I don't know when I was causing drama, or drama in between the server. That was probably just like Cloud or something. I was banned and blocked.
You weren't even doing anything. The only people who were doing something was Sketcher and Cloud, just cussing all over it all.
Here, Nightmare again includes himself in the group of people that were causing drama in the server. But this is not what they said before. What amazes me about this is Nightmare is literally admitting that Basket was justified in banning him. They've literally just conceded one of their main points, admitting what we already knew, that Basket didn't just ban Nightmare for no reason. What exactly are they even fighting for at this point? Why did they even bother making this video? Just to incriminate themselves? Just to say, hey, actually, we did do it? Everything that they've done from start to finish has been pure insanity. They weren't very clear about what it was they wanted Basket to say.
No, we just wanted him to say that I was banned.
And after... Yeah, except you weren't even banned at that point.
Okay, when Sasha joined us, it was when it all started. And back then, I believed in like all of the bad stuff about Basket, so.
Panda says that back then, when Sketcher joined, he still believed all the bad stuff about Basket, implying that he no longer believes much of what he used to say about Basket being a user and a terrible person. Panda is basically conceding that Basket isn't all of these things he's been saying he is, or that he's at least better than what he thought. And we all know why that is, because of the videos I made destroying the claims made against him. To Nightmare's one final incoherent rant before the video ends.
All I want to say is, you are power hungry for the truth to not be told, and you're trying your best to cover it up with Basket.
Only thing I think about that is that Hollis is a good lawyer.
Thank you.
Plus, you left out the fact of what you guys did, and you just said what we did, because in that video that you were responding to, you joined our friends group, started spamming us. He even told you it was a friends group.
Yes, I did join your friends group and spam insults, because at this point we had already officially been enemies for almost 2 months. This fact isn't at all relevant to the situation. Like I explained before, I only mentioned things that you did after we were officially enemies because you denied the fact that you did them, and in this video conceded that you actually did. I'm absolutely not sorry for doing that, and everyone watching this video knows that you deserved it. After everything you guys have done to try and harm Basket's career, you all definitely deserve to be called cross-dressers.
I don't even know how we got that drift thing going, Nightmare. How did we?
You guys just made my month.